Welcome to the Break Vape podcast. I am your host, Tami Ernst. If you are an overwhelmed mom struggling to quit vaping after trying everything in your power to quit, then you are in the right place, mama. Each week on the show, we analyze stress, vaping, and addiction from a place of zero self-judgment so that you can build up the skills you need to ditch your vapes for good. Are you ready? Let's get to work. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you? I hope you mamas are all doing amazing. Today, we are diving into part 3 of my 4-part series on self-awareness, curiosity, disciplined goals, that's today's subject, and empowerment, which we will cover next week. But first, I just want to say that it's Valentine's Day right now when I'm recording this episode, and I want to send my love and support out to each and every one of you who are listening to my podcast. I got some great emails from you guys after the last episode where you did the homework that I prompted you to do. And ladies, this work cannot and will not do itself, and no one can do it for you. So I just want to give you a big, bright, shiny gold star for doing this work for yourself and for taking it one step further and by sending it in to me. I love hearing from you guys. So I am feeling great today. It has been a busy month. I recently moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I absolutely love it here. There is so much to do. But in between being a full-time mom, taking care of my family, doing this podcast, and all of the coaching work that I do, I try to make my free time as fun as possible by doing things out in nature. I always love being in nature, but back when I was vaping, it just wasn't harmonious with the activities that I like to do. I think it just really held me back from feeling healthy at the end of the day. Vaping had a hold on me for years. I love to do hot yoga, and I remember I would have a great class. I would feel incredible, and I would leave feeling all zenned out. But the first thing I would want to do is to go straight from my class to my car or to the bathroom to hit my vape. And it's like it almost immediately robbed me of the joy that I had just created for myself because it put me right back into an unhealthy state. So I made a goal to quit, and it wasn't long before I realized that just quitting vaping as the goal itself was impossible for me to conquer because it turned out to be too broad of a goal. And along the way, I discovered and created for myself lots of sub-goals or smaller goals to meet. But before I did that, I had to learn how to become very self-aware, and I had to get intensely curious about how vaping showed up in my life and blocked me from really embodying my core values. Then after I made and met my goals, I felt empowered to be able to quit from a place of authority and confidence instead of from that familiar old place of lack of control and insecurity. This was a huge pivotal shift for me because it put me in a place of complete autonomy over my addiction, and I was able to disarm it one angle at a time until eventually my urges stopped and I was free. Now I live in a daily reality where vapes have zero control over me by going through this process. And I can't wait to finish teaching you how to do this too so that you can start living your best life. So in the spirit of Self-Love February, we are well into our journey on the road to empowerment. When you get to the end of this episode, I want you to go back and listen to the last 2 episodes where I break down self-awareness and curiosity for you, and I want you to do the homework that I prompt you to do, okay, if you haven't done it already. Like I said earlier, no one can do this work for you, and it won't just magically appear as done in your life just by listening to this podcast. If you really want to quit vaping, make sure that you do the work. So let's dive into developing disciplined goals. Our big overarching goal is to live a vape-free life. But in order to do that, you're going to need to meet several sets of sub-goals first. Having the discipline to break down your big goal into bite-sized doable goals is where the success happens. Because once you meet a small goal and another one, your brain will be in a dopamine frenzy, eager to meet even more goals, which will help you chip away at your big overarching goal to quit vaping. So here is how to think about a sub-goal. Your sub-goals are going to explain how to reach different creative solutions to the big overarching goal of quitting vaping. The first thing to do is to write down your sub-goal without knowing how you are going to achieve it. That is totally okay because after you set the goal, you'll work backwards to solve it. This makes each goal a mini learning process that later you can stack on top of each other to reach that big overarching goal. In a second, or when it is safe for you to do so, go ahead and get a pen and a piece of paper, okay? And take notes with this or on your phone, because I'm going to share 7 of my favorite, most effective sub-goals with you. Feel free to add in any sub-goals for yourself that come to mind. That is fantastic and introspective. That's a great thing that you can do for yourself. And just know, even if you only achieve these goals that I'm about to give you, you will have everything you need to quit vaping for good. Are you ready? Okay, here are the goals. Number 1, understand brain chemistry and how it relates to addiction. Did you guys know that vaping physically creates nicotine receptors in your brain and that vaping hijacks your brain's dopamine reward center? This is how addiction is created. So it is crucial that you make it a goal to understand your brain chemistry and how it relates to addiction. I did an entire episode all about this. It breaks down all of the science. This is back on episode number 8, and it covers the dopamine hijack. So make sure that you go back and listen to that episode, okay, to help you reach your goal. Okay, goal number 2. Understand how you have been targeted by big tobacco. Find their market cap for 2025 and let it blow your mind. How many billions of dollars are spent to get you hooked and dependent on vaping? You have to understand that vaping is a billion-dollar industry that creatively creates and markets vapes to your faces. So while I do think it is a choice to vape, I don't think that it is entirely your fault that you vape. And this is very important for you to understand in meeting your goal so that you can see that the enemy is vaping and not yourself. Goal number 3, make a goal to do future self work. You are going to need to forgive your past and present self from a place of zero self-judgment to move forward. Then I want you to love and respect your future self. This is way easier said than done, and it is a goal that you can definitely achieve with some practice. Slowly killing yourself by vaping is not showing self-love, my friends, and I want so much better for you. So make it a goal to forgive yourself, to respect yourself, and to love yourself one step at a time. Goal number 4, make a goal to do no harm to yourself, to others, and to the planet. Vaping sets a bad example for our kiddos, and we don't want to model addiction culture for them, right? It is also toxic to the environment. So I want you to make it a goal to stop harming yourself, others, and the planet. When you can do this, you'll be respecting yourself while also shifting your reasons to quit into a bigger responsibility. Let this responsibility hold you accountable and set you up to crush this goal. Goal number 5, make a goal to learn how to make an evergreen quit plan and a relapse plan. Ooh, this is so good. These 2 plans are going to be your best friends on your quitting journey. So only take this goal lightly if you have zero intention of actually quitting. If you don't know anything about quit plans or relapse plans, then ask around in a quit vaping support group to see if anybody knows how and can help you. You can do your own research. And you can always reach out to me on Instagram at miss.quitvaping so I can point you in the right direction. I am happy to help you whether you hear this episode as soon as it airs or 2 years from now. A quit plan and a relapse plan are essential for your success. Goal number 6, set a goal to help others by spreading education and awareness around the dangers of vaping. This goal is so important because the number one way to ensure that you won't relapse after quitting is to help other people learn about the dangers of vaping. Again, this circles back to responsibility and accountability. Make sure that as you are writing down and working through this goal, that you specifically think of educating your own children about how vaping is deadly and toxic. Prevention starts at home, and when you talk to your kids about something that could harm them, it harnesses an unspeakable protective energy that you can use to fuel your quitting journey later on. And goal number 7, set a goal to reward yourself after you reach a goal. Somewhere along the way, as moms, self-care, more often than not, becomes elusive, put off, and even forgotten about entirely. But you have to do things that fill up your proverbial cup so that you have the energy to take care of the people who depend on you. And this starts with celebrating small wins. So I want you to make it a goal to reward yourself and celebrate your progress as you reach all of the other goals. These baby steps are going to start making self-care an everyday practice, and your results will be a confident version of yourself who feels comfortable making goals, doing the work, and rewarding yourself along the way instead of shame spiraling like we used to do. This is going to serve you in spades when you officially set off on your quit vaping journey, where the struggle gets real. But when it does, you will know how to give your brain hits of dopamine by rewarding yourself instead of vaping. Okay, so there you have it. Those are 7 of my favorite goals to get you started on your journey towards empowerment. So let's recap from the last couple of episodes. After you do all of the work from the last 2 episodes, you will have a solid understanding that vapes are bad for you. You will have done the self-awareness exercises to understand how to question your brain as to why you are choosing to slowly hurt yourself instead of feeling present. And you will know how to do value excavation to see what your core values are so that you can embody them intentionally. And from the curiosity prompts, you'll know your why, aka your number 1 reason for vaping. You'll know where you are planning to get your curiosity journal. You'll know what your biggest trigger will be. You'll know how many minutes per day you're going to spend on anti-vaping research. And you'll know your number 1 excuse for not quitting. Then when you add in the work you are doing from today, you will have the sub-goals that you need to meet, which all umbrella under the larger goal of quitting vaping. I am so proud of you guys for tuning in today and for staying with me until the end of this episode. This work is fire, so make sure that you do it and take it one step further by sending me an email at hello@breakvapes.com with what you come up with. Next week is going to be the culmination of this 4-part series where we will dive right into empowerment and action. So make sure you come back to soak up all the goodness that you're going to learn in that episode. Keep up the great work. You ladies are amazing. And if you haven't said hi to me on Instagram yet, come DM me at miss.quitvaping. You guys are the best, and that is it for this episode. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you like what was offered in today's show and want even more support, head over to www.breakvapes.com and schedule your free strategy session to discover exactly how my proven system can help you ditch your vapes for good. Bye for now.